Hi everyone, welcome back to the Optimal Experience. Today I want to discuss some of the benefits of using Cachy OS. People often ask why I would use Linux instead of Windows 11. The truth is I got tired of the background overhead, the telemetry and the random micro-stutters. While Windows is busy pushing new updates just to play catch up with storage speeds, Linux distributions like Cachy OS are fundamentally architected to handle your CPU and GPU better. Today we are putting away the opinions. I'm going to show you some of the more factually proven architectural advantages of using CachyOS and why it might be the cure for your Windows fatigue. Let's start with how the operating system is actually built. While Windows 11 has strict modern hardware requirements like TPM 2.0 underneath the hood, it is still heavily burdened by generic binaries and decades of legacy compatibility layers. Similarly, standard Linux distributions still compile their baseline software to run on CPUs that are well over a decade old. The downside of this generic approach is that it leaves a lot of modern CPU performance completely on the table. CachyOS takes a fundamentally different approach. Every core package and software repository is compiled specifically using the x86-64v3 instruction set. If you have an Intel 4th generation processor or newer, or any AMD Ryzen CPU, your hardware natively supports advanced instructions like AVX2. Because CachyOS strips out the legacy code and compiles everything for modern processors, the operating system itself is mathematically lighter and faster before you even launch a game. You're getting free performance just by using an OS that actually speaks your hardware's native language. The second major advantage is the brain of the operating system, the CPU scheduler. The scheduler decides which programs get access to your processor cores. On Windows, if a background task like telemetry or an antivirus scan suddenly demands attention, the scheduler often grants it, which is exactly what causes that random micro-stutter in your game. CachyOS uses a custom kernel featuring the BOR scheduler, which stands for Burst Orientated Response Enhancer. BOR is explicitly designed to prioritize interactive tasks. It dynamically calculates burstiness to aggressively yield CPU time to the game window you're actively playing, effectively telling background tasks to wait their turn. You won't necessarily see this in your maximum frame rates. Where you will see the BOR scheduler shine is in your 1% lows and frame time consistency. It is the ultimate cure for micro-stutters. Then there's the driver situation. If you are currently running an AMD graphics card, the open source Linux drivers are nothing short of legendary. Instead of relying on heavy proprietary software suites that run in the background, CachyOS uses the open source Mesa RADV Vulkan drivers. Because these drivers are built directly into the Linux ecosystem and continually optimized by Valve and the community, they exhibit incredibly low CPU overhead for draw calls. Shaders compile efficiently, and the hardware simply feels snappier and more stable than it does on its native Windows counterpart. But a great operating system isn't just about raw frames, it is about respecting the user and giving you control. On Windows, you often need 3 or 4 bloated apps running in your system tray just to control your fans and sync your phone. On CachyOS, we have apps like CoolerControl. It is a lightweight, open source application that reads every single sensor on your motherboard. You can create custom fan curves without any of the heavy background telemetry you get from the standard motherboard bloatware. And for your phone, there's KDE Connect. You can share your clipboard, transfer files instantly, or use your phone as a media remote, all natively, entirely locally over your Wi-Fi and completely free of ads or required accounts. Windows isn't terrible, but it's trying to be everything to everyone, and that brings bloat. CachyOS strips away the noise. It uses modern CPU instructions, prioritizes your games with the BOR scheduler, and gives you complete control of your hardware without harvesting your data. If you are tired of fighting your OS for system resources, it might be time to make the switch. Let me know in the comments what is keeping you on Windows, or if you have already made the jump to Linux. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.